Welcome back to another Friday here on my channel. Today we're going to be going into another Unreal Engine tutorial. I know you guys love those. Today we're going to be talking about how to export detail lighting renders in UE5. Now, you might have seen detail renders before, and it is a very sought after behind the scenes type of render that any beginner is looking for when they're creating anything in 3D. I know that I always wanted to know how to do it, so without further ado, let's get straight into it. So you can see here we've got different options in our Unreal Engine scene. You can do lit, wireframe, you can go into the lighting only, which is somewhat of what we're going to be focusing on, but especially the detail lighting. Now here in the detail lighting you can see I've got the scene in the ArchViz with some Legos plotted out on the table. And you can tell that you can see all the tiny details that come from textures in normal maps and displacement maps, reflections, and the light color. But it takes away the color maps from everything, giving you a very easy way to tell how the lighting looks specifically. It's really helpful for dialing lighting. Quickly here, we're going to just hop into our content folder, and then I'm going to go into my Legos folder because that's where I have my sequencer. And then I'm going to click on my sequencer file. Mine's called Dolly Fall. That won't make sense for you guys just because it's associated with the scene that I'm shooting. Now you can see I've got these different animations blocked out of these Lego guys, and I want to render this in a detailed lighting scene. So if you come over to this little movie icon in the bottom left, you click on it, it will open the movie render queue. Now to adjust your settings, go to unsaved config, and here you're going to see your menu. Now I'm going to tell you about my presets that I've built. I've decided to make it very easy to export your Unreal Engine renders quickly. Today I'm going to use the Unreal Engine 5 ProRes Wide. But first I'm going to show you here on my Gumroad. You have two options basically. They only cost $1. $1, it's fairly affordable and it does help support me and my channel. You can see here we've got the Unreal Engine 4.27 and the Unreal Engine 5. So here you can see a short explanation of my purpose for them, and basically when you're done, you just click I want this, put in $1, and boom, you've got them, and it's just an easy drag and drop. So getting back into it, I'm going to start in our output, and I want to make this a cinematic aspect ratio. First I'm going to import my ProRes Wide format, and then I'm going to go into the output and change the 1080 to an 804. 804 then gives us a 21:9 aspect ratio, which is an extra widescreen format. Then you can see our console variables. Oh, before I forget, don't forget to go into the output directory, select your own file location, and then we can move forward into the console variables. So here you can see they're just all laid out there for you perfectly. Same with the anti-aliasing. And then here you have your Apple ProRes. So Apple ProRes is available here in the plugins. So you come into the plugins and then you just type in Apple. An option that says Apple ProRes will show up, and you just need to check that check mark. Say yeah, right there, ProRes Media, and then just click on Install or Restart Engine. Alright, moving into the next section, our deferred rendering is where you find your render layers. But these are render layers for the overall render, and I want to click on Setting and find one called Detail Lighting or Lighting Only, depending on which one you want. I'm going to go with Detail Lighting because I want all the reflections and detail maps. And then here I can just uncheck Deferred Rendering. Now it will only export the detailed lighting. So again, just check if there's any console variables I want to add, and then I'm just going to see if I got 24 frames a second and accept. Thumbs up. Sweet. From here on, it is just rendering to the local, or you can click render remote. I'm going to render local. You might have to compile your shaders. It just depends. Now you can see Unreal is kicking out the rendered frames into a folder. I'm just going to navigate to the folder. Once it's done rendering, just navigate to your file browser, find your file location, and then we can drag it into DaVinci Resolve. From here, I can click playback, and as you can see, it looks really good. I'm going to save that, and then I'm going to come into the deliver. I want to make sure it's an MP4, and then I'm just going to come over here. This is your render queue. You just have to click add to render queue and then render, and then you have your final product. So this is my final detailed lighting. You can see that it has the reflections, the lighting, the depth of field. All it doesn't have is the color, which allows you to be able to tell if your lighting is looking really good or not. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Thanks for coming, and stay tuned for more Unreal Engine tutorials coming soon. If you like what you've seen today, like and subscribe, and hit the bell notification to see my next video when it comes out on Fridays and sometimes a Wednesday. Very rarely, but sometimes. And until then, create more than you consume.